So this is how you create an outlined stroke. You have your document, you're going to create a new layer, and with your pen tool you're going to start tracing your lines. Before I do that, I want to make sure that my fill is turned off, so I'm going to come over here to my tools palette, turn off my fill, and I have my stroke as black. You can choose a different color by double clicking it. Give it a color that you will see very clearly on your artboard. At the end, you can change it back to black. So I'm just going to come in here and trace one of my lines very carefully. If you want to zoom in, it's Command plus. To move your piece into view, hold down the Shift bar or the space bar and click with your mouse. And this is all I'm doing, is just following my line very carefully. And zoom in close enough so that you can see what you're doing. Good. Okay. Now to deselect it, I just grab my black arrow tool and then click off. I'm going to zoom out, see how I like it. Not bad. There are a couple areas that need to be tweaked. I'm not pleased with this curve here, and I'm not pleased with this curve here. Remember, your white arrow can move and manipulate points and tangent lines. If you can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and change the color of my layer. Now we could see that a little bit better. So I have my white arrow that's pushing and pulling points and changing the direction or lengthening and shortening the tangent lines. Good, not bad. Now, this is a very thin line on my composition, but I may want to make it a little bit heavier. The way I do that is I come up to the top, and where it says stroke 1 point, I'm going to make it heavier. I'm going to make it about 4 points. I like the way this looks, but I want to create a thick, thin line. So the way I do that is I select my line, go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke. That now makes this line into a shape. And notice all the extra anchor points that Illustrator put into my line. I may have to delete some of those. So I'm going to grab my white arrow, then I'm going to immediately click my pen tool. That way when I hold down my Command key, I get my white arrow, but at all times my pen tool is active. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to move points, I'm going to move tangent lines, and I'm going to create this thick, thin effect. And when you create a thick, thin line, it automatically creates more dimension in your piece. It makes your work look more sophisticated. It's particularly good for this project, although there may be times you don't want to use this technique, and that is perfectly fine and acceptable. I'm going to do just a couple more things. I'm going to delete a point here at the bottom so that it tapers off nicely. I'm going to delete this point because we don't need it. Extend my tangent line and zoom out. And already my line is more gestural because of this. And that's it.